try one notch looser, we'll try it again. Okay, try now. It's actually a really rare Plymouth. One of the last years of a rumble seat, before they made a convertible coupe and put the back seat inside. And the engine, Fred took the top off the engine, and you can go around when Tori has a look at that. It was supposed to have run a year ago, and it was stuck. So we looked at it, and you could look down in the engine and see when it was stuck. So the engine has to be pulled and overhauled, which a machine shop in Kennett's going to do it.
What type of debris?
Well, you can see this stuff in here. All this stuff is debris. It should be like this, but it actually should be nice and shiny like that, but it got water in it, and it just, somehow, there's no obvious place that it came through the gaskets, so the guy put a new gasket on, maybe didn't tighten it, we don't know. Sometimes the car tells you what's wrong with it. You can say, oh, it blew out here, or this happened there, but we don't know. Most of what we do now is service. We usually don't do big jobs like this, but we didn't know this was going to be a big job like that. I love them all. That's the trouble. I have 12 cars. That's nuts.
You didn't tell me you had 12 cars. See, he hides that.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Are they all 30s and 40s cars, or do you have any older?
These are the two oldest here. Well, no, I have a 22, the Model T Ford. I've had at Auburn.
And then you've got the other 1918 Buick that's over at Greneau.
Yeah, I wanted Greneau.
Patina. It basically looks like that, but a barn find and a half.
Wow.
Looks like it's straight up just rolled out of a barn.
And Irene uses that for jalopy tours. We need to
Back
get down-
seat's got a feed bag over top of it. That's the seat.
We need to get down and service it. At home I have two Hudsons and my pickup truck and a dump truck. The one Hudson I bought for $10 in 1969. I gave it to my roommate, and he gave it back to me in 1986. So I had that a long time. So growing up, I looked at family pictures of the Willie's night. And that's my dad and my aunt and my grandfather in front of a car just like this.
This is totally destiny.
I guess, yeah. So,
Now, do you remember how long they had it for? Did they always have it, or?
no, they had two Willie's nights. They had this one, and then they had this one. They had this one for like 10 years. They had this one for like 4 years. And that's my dad in front of the newer one with his Boy Scout uniform on. So, this has been Auburn Heights. It's a 1918 Buick. And this is how I met Irene DuPont. We were down at Winterthur, and they parked my Buick next to his Cadillac, which is a 1918. So,
Yep.
and Tori polished this. This paint was really dull, and it was an old paint job. And she really brought it back. She had to start with wet sandpaper. It was a long process, but she got it. This car has open valves, so when you run, it's like a Rube Goldberg machine. You see all those running up and down. And we have to oil them from manually. The oil doesn't get pumped up to there. So you have to oil them every 50 or 100 miles.
How long does that take?
Well, there's 24 spots, and you get pretty quick. It drip, 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 drip. It's an early spotlight, and I found an ad for it. And there's 10 reasons why you've got to have one.
What's the number one reason why you gotta have it?
Oh, to see at night, actually. Because the headlights would shine out, parabolic reflector straight ahead, but the roads were bad. So you'd have a ditch light. Sometimes you put one light on the right-hand side. This has a light over here that shines down I mean, you can change the focus of it, but it's meant to shine on the ditch. And interestingly, my grandfather's car had the same light in the same place. So the Willie's Night dealers must have sold him, you need this light for $4 more, or whatever it was in those days.
Today's WeatherTech mats, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, actually. Yeah, that's right.
It's better not to talk at all, is my advice.
Ironically enough, I was working at a gas station before I came here, and Lou had come in with his 46 Chevy pickup, and I had started asking him questions about it. And then one thing led to another, and then now all of a sudden I'm here.
Did you like old cars before, or what kind of cars?
Yeah, most definitely. When I learned how to drive a manual, I took a really big interest in cars then, and it just took a while to end up, working on cars. I always said, I was like, I don't care where I start. It doesn't matter to me where I start. I said, where I want to end is working on the classic and the antique cars. I was like, I don't care where I start, but I get to start where I want to finish. So. I love Jeeps. I'm a Jeep person. It's a Jeep thing.
I feel like that's the case.
No, I'm trying to think. Honestly, I think it was last year. It was when I within the first 2 months of me being here, we got a 1936 Plymouth in 2-door coupe. I don't know what it was about that car. I think the gunmetal paint job that was done on it was absolutely beautiful. I don't know. It just intrigued me so much. Yeah. And I don't know, I fell in love with it. That car has stuck in my mind ever since. And I'm not a car person. I like trucks, I like Jeeps, all that stuff. No, I'm not a car person, but there was something about that car that I was just I don't know, I like the body lines on it. Mm-hmm. I like the way it felt sitting inside of it. It was different. It's kind of a toss-up, and both of them actually have to do with exhaust manifolds. The 42 Buick we had in here last year was very interesting to try to take apart because we had to take it over to another shop to get it welded because it's cast iron and it was cracked and all that stuff, but you wanted to keep it from cracking more when you're taking it apart, so trying to get that apart was a challenge without breaking something else or breaking a bolt off or whatever. And then actually we just recently had a 1930 Erskine, which is a companion car to a Studebaker. And the manifold, one of the gaskets, was completely blown out of the side, and mind you, again, it's cast iron, and cast iron is very brittle, so you had to be very careful trying to pull it apart, and we got it apart. Yeah. But it took a while to, honestly, those two are the worst because it's the most stressful trying not to, break something that you can't replace.
I've been here 15 years, although it seems like a lot longer.
Hopefully in a good way and not a bad way.
Not really. Not really. It's surprising how fast 15 years goes. Actually, one of my friends worked here, and that's how I came across this. And one of my friends that I met at Unionville High School in 8th grade, who's been one of my really good friends ever since, he was working here. And I thought, oh, this looks like a pretty good thing. It's kind of low-key and older cars, and I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good deal. And so I'm moving back here. I had other reasons to come back as well.
Yeah.
To sort of facilitate it. I more prefer to work on the sports cars and the foreign cars and the sports cars especially. I'm interested in sports cars. I'm not that interested in big sedans and things.
Yeah.
It kind of depends. Some things are more interesting than others, and some customers are more interested than others, and that makes a difference too.
Yeah.
This is a 1957 Triumph TR3. Oh yeah. I need either. Oh yeah, I guess I do need some of that stuff. And it was I guess it was in a barn for something like 30 years up in Connecticut. And one of our former customers found it. Or actually his friend got it. And then he got it from his friend and brought it down here. And he mentioned it to me, and he just basically saved it from the crusher, I think.
was inspected in Vermont in 2004. It was restored with 316 miles on it. And now it has 333 miles on it, 16 years later. So they never quite finished it. So the guy brought it here for us to finish. And I took it out for a ride the other day, and the top's flopping up and down. I thought, what the hell? One of the pieces that holds the top is missing from the other side. It's like not there. So luckily I ordered one, and it should be in probably Monday or Tuesday. A company that sells a lot of parts for Model A Fords.
Please don't talk about me when I'm It's better not to talk at all.